Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Robert Rivera with Who's on First the show. And today we got some innovation. It's called VeloTee. And we have Jeremy Hazen. He is the inventor, correct?
That's correct.
All right. He's going to show us this new piece of equipment that I've never seen, and he's going to show us around it. So go ahead, Jeremy, introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on the show. I'm super excited. Glad to partake in talking about VeloTee and kind of the process of how it came to be, and also to hear more of your story and what you have going on. Because I think we spoke the other day on the phone real quick, but sounds like you've got some exciting stuff in the works. And so
Yeah, I got a lot of exciting stuff coming up.
I'll show you it real fast. This is the VeloTee. So it's a home plate shaped backpack that has 3 bat slots on the outside, so players can put their bats or coaches can put their fungo. Every bag comes with an adjustable rubber batting tee. And then, since it's shaped like a home plate, the top zips off. Oops, sorry, I'm making a ton of noise. But you have a full-size home plate wherever
Okay.
you go. So pitchers getting their flat ground work in, catchers in the bullpen. You can customize it too. Quick shout out to Players for the Planet. I'm partnered with them, so every bag sold, a percentage of that sale goes to their cause. They work with, planting trees and cleaning up the oceans around the world, really. So it's a great organization. But on the inside, you've got 3 tee slots. So you can move your tee that comes with the bag to your inside pitch, your middle pitch, or your away pitch. Carries all your balls, equipment, helmet, cleats. Yeah, you get to the field, throw your bat bag down, and now you're taking BP right off your bat bag.
You put that on your back like a backpack. It's that you
Yeah,
could. Oh wow! All right. Let's first of all let's get to this name VeloTee. Where did that come from?
I was gonna go with Simple Slugger, just because it was like a simple idea that kind of seemed a little bit too close to like Louisville Slugger.
Right.
It was just thinking about like exit velocity, pitching velocity. So it really was as simple as just thinking, okay, let's take Velo and put a T on it and call it VeloTee. So
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
I wish there
Wow.
was some like high level thought to it, but it was
Where did this idea come from? Did you just say, hey, one day somebody came to you and said, hey, coach, I wish I could do this and do that? Where did this brainchild come from?
I used to give private lessons, so one-on-one instruction. So I had a GT top, but I didn't have the base for it. Go to a lesson at a cage thinking that there might be, a generic black rubber T base. I could put the GT top in and make the lesson work. Show up to the cage, there wasn't one in there. And so I was like, well, what can I do to make this lesson work? Saw his bat bag sitting there. So I was like, well, maybe I can put it in his bat slot and get through the lesson. But it just kept falling over. So I literally took my phone out, snapped a picture, and like in that moment I was like, I know I want a home plate shaped, rigid, multiple T slots. And then we just kind of made a couple prototypes and kept it moving from there.
Okay. What's the feedback that you're getting?
TikTok has been huge for me, probably within the last, I'd say 3, 4 months. Go through, you read all the comments. Obviously, you're getting feedback from customers, and I'm actually currently in the process of working with the factory on an upgraded version to this model. So there'll be a version 2, and then ultimately a version 3 that will have wheels. So it's kind of like a luggage handle and
Okay.
then wheel behind you. But
Okay.
yeah, feedback's been great. Everybody loves it. Coaches love it just because they're not having to carry, multiple buckets in a bag, and all their stuff can get in the VeloTee bag. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I remember my dad carrying the bucket with the baseballs, and then we had the equipment bag, or
mhm.
sometimes 2 equipment bags,
Yeah,
because you had one for bats and helmets, and then you had catcher's equipment and gloves and bases and whatever. You should get some attached bases on there. You can attach a little square bases and maybe a little pitcher's mount. You can use it
yeah.
like a sandlot type of deal.
There is on the back side. You've got a kind of a hidden compartment. It's got let's see, 2 fence hooks, but then you
Okay.
can also put a scorebook or those like rubber bases. You can tuck them
Yeah.
back in there.
Yeah.
So
Okay. What's the weight on that thing?
that one with the T in it is like 9 pounds.
Okay.
So, I
Huh.
mean, obviously, the more weight you start putting in, more balls, like it will get heavier.
Yeah, you get a nice
Um,
little rucksack out of there. That'd be nice
yeah,
at the end of practice. You got to ruck it out of there.
that's right.
So where does your love of baseball come from?
Man, I feel like I grew up with a bat and ball in hand. My dad coached collegiately. He was a pitching coach, and then he was a head coach at Indiana Wesleyan University in Indiana, and then was the head assistant coach at Anderson University for years. So growing up, I was living at the ball field and going to baseball camps, and I was just completely immersed. Continued to love it all the way through high school and college, and had aspirations of the next level. But you got to run fast and throw hard, and I couldn't do either of those. So
Yeah, yeah. Everybody's told at one point they can't play the kids game anymore, as they say in Moneyball.
yeah.
So, I mean, what you coaching, or what are you doing?
No, I did coach travel ball, and then I did some rec league stuff. But I ended up got married, and I was like, okay, it's time to get a big boy job. So we started working at a company, and so now I do marketing, brand management for a company here in Nashville, Tennessee. So
Okay,
this is kind of like a side project. Yeah, we're
yeah,
working to make it be the main thing, though. So
okay. This bag just comes in black. Can you make it like a blue, a purple?
eventually, yeah, we can get to that. Obviously, that's POs and working with the factory on quantities and stuff. But
Right.
just to start off with, it is in black currently.
Okay. All right. So if somebody wants to get one of these fine backpacks, where would they go?
Yeah, so they can find it online. VeloTee.com is our website. And then we're all over social. So Instagram handles VeloT, TikTok, Facebook. I do have it on Amazon. So you can find it on Amazon as well.
Okay. And what's the going price?
They're retailing at 149.
Okay. I'm sure you showed your dad. What did he think of it?
Yeah, no, he loved it off the bat, and no pun intended, but he thought it was super innovative. He's like, I mean, nothing has been out there like this because you always, you have your tee, you have a bucket, and you have a home plate, and like it's never been together as an all-in-one. He has his pitching background. He saw the home plate top and was like, well, maybe you can flip it over, and on the underside, you can. I don't know if you've seen the home plates that are multicolored.
Right.
So red in the middle, kind of stay out of the middle of the home plate, and then
Right.
work your way out to the corners. So on this next version, I've got them to where they're printed the colors on the underside of the home plate. So that was his contribution to it. So
That's a good idea. I
yeah.
like that. So where do you see this in 10 years, 5 years?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would love for it to be available to the masses. So, like retailers, you walk into a Dick's Sporting Good, or an Academy Sports, or a Shields, and you see it on the shelves, easily accessible for kids and coaches to be able to utilize it. And that's the ultimate goal. I think the end goal is maybe a Nike or a Adidas or some big company says, "Hey, we like this. Let's bring it
Buy
in
you out.
house." So
Yeah, buy you out, yeah.
but we're one day at a time. So
All right, so let's say somewhere major league game and somebody breaks out that bag. You see that bag on the major league field. I mean, how would you feel?
no one's ever asked that question. So
I have a tendency to ask questions that most people don't. So
I love it. I love it. I, I wouldn't believe it, honestly. Like it would be kind of just a shock and awe moment and kind of pinch yourself type scenario. So if you're familiar with Guardian Baseball,
yeah,
um, they have recently started getting some of their sliding mids and gear on field in MLB games. So getting able to talk to their owner Matt, like it's been fun to see him and like his excitement around that. So it's funny that you asked that question, like kind of living vicariously through Matt in that situation, trying to think about like what his feelings would be, but what mine would be, and I'd just be like, what?
I can see you reaching out to Little League Baseball.
Yeah.
The Little League World Series, when I've been to Williamsport, those guys are always walking around with backpacks. They have bats in there. They have all kind of stuff. So, I mean, I think a good window for you would be Little League Baseball, Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Oh
That
yeah.
would be something that would be good for you. But
We didn't talk about that on the
no,
phone, did we?
no, we
Okay.
didn't. No, we didn't.
So, funny story about Williamsport. My dad was the official photographer for Little League for like 18 years. So, we were out at Williamsport taking pictures for the parents of the players. So, every summer I lived at Williamsport, took action shots and all this stuff. So, it's funny that you mentioned Little League.
Yeah. I see that bag walking around in Williamsport. I see it. I don't know where. I see that bag walking around, and I hope that does happen for you. So I see
Okay.
you got some baseballs back there. What's going on? What you got over there?
So when we're talking about Little League, this was from the team from Nolansville. So last year they got out there, and I actually sent them some bags last year. But that team from Nolansville was out there this year. So this was their third year in a row they've been out to Williamsport. So I got that, and then I guess another one. This is a Little League World Series ball. I don't know if you can see by the light, but
Yeah.
it's. And then one from college, and just kind of. I've got a when I was like 12 years old, I hit a home run, and so it's signed, and so just random stuff. Yeah.
Well, I have um, baseball from the Little League World Series,
Okay.
and this is the World Series that was never played.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yep, that's the Little League World Series ball, and this is the year it wasn't played. The better part of that is that I have a Major League Baseball from a World Series for 1994 that was never played.
Okay.
So those are my two
Okay.
Little League World Series and Major League World Series ball.
I was gonna say I've got a '92 MLB World Series, but that one was played. So
Yeah, those I keep them next to each other because those
uh,
I always say those are the two World Series that were never played. So all right, so who's your favorite team?
that's a loaded
Uh-oh.
question.
Uh-oh.
Being
Uh-oh.
from Indiana, like it's, I guess I would say the Cubs when I lived up there when I was super young. I was named after Ryan Sandberg, so Ryan's my middle name. So I guess younger Jeremy would be a Cubs fan. And then as I got older, like college level, I had a buddy, he played with the Blue Jays. So I kind of started following the Blue Jays pretty heavily. I like good baseball. I like watching baseball. Twisted my arm, I would say the Blue Jays.
Okay.
But
All right. If somebody was to get one of your bags, one major league player, who would you put it on?
Jeter, hands down. I've been in his DMs, so it's
And see Jeter walking around with that backpack. Huh? That'd be great. That's rookie year.
yeah.
I actually Derek Jeter. He's if he's your I have his autograph here.
Mm.
He's one of my favorite players. I owe him an apology.
Oh.
One day I'm gonna give it to him. My brother and I were in fanfare for Yankees in '95. We were sitting there, everybody was in Don Mattingly and Bernie Williams and the big names.
Hmm.
And in the corner, sitting all by himself was Derek Jeter. Brand new shortstop. They haven't even taken the wrapper off of him. And my brother goes, I think that's the shortstop. So we go over there, and my little brother goes, hey, you Derek, right? He says, yeah. This guy get your autograph, and he had him autograph. I'm not sure if it was a bat or a ball. And I go over to my brother. I'm like, why are you talking to this guy? I was like, Steinbrenner's going to fire him in like 2 weeks. I was like, come on, man. Let's get the hell out of here. I was like, let's go on the Mattingly line. You're going to get an autograph from Mattingly. Yeah.
That's
So,
funny.
Derek, if you're watching, I hope you are. One day we're going to meet. I'm going to shake your hands. I'm going to owe you an apology. So you became the monster, the myth, the legend, the captain, and you showed what Yankee baseball was all about.
Oh yeah.
That would be I could see Derek Jeter his rookie year walking around with that little backpack there, the little home plate. I'm gonna tee off on it. And another thing is I don't see most coaches having the kids hit off the tee.
Mhm.
What is the importance of hitting off the tee?
Kind of the analogy of you have to walk before you can run situation. Like, I mean, the ball's not moving, it's right there. So you're able to kind of isolate any biomechanical stuff within your swing if you want to work on, pinpoint one thing where your hands are sitting. You're not having to worry about a moving pitch coming at you. That's the one constant, it's right there for you. So I hit off of a tee every day in college, high school. Probably not in high school every day, but college, I might have skipped a few classes to be in the cage with some tee work. So it's just, I think it's massively important, especially at a young age. I know kids want to just get in and see a live ball being thrown at them, and which there's a time for that. Just getting your rhythm down with your swing and everything. But I think to kind of hone that skill and kind of really feel what your body is doing while you're swinging, tee work is where it's at.
I had some good coaches in my dad. My dad was a good coach for us,
Mhm.
and he always wanted us to start with the tee.
Mhm.
They before you start looking at live pitches or anything, he said, give me at least 10 cuts on the tee, and it was an everyday type of deal. Even if we weren't practicing or whatever, give me 10 cuts on the tee. Let's go do 10 cuts. And it was buddy of mine was a heck of an archer. He used to go to competitions and all this stuff, and he'd come back with trophies and all this. And I used to practice with him, and I would turn around and I go, what makes you so good? I see you practice just like I practice. And he goes, Rob, I shoot one arrow every day. He goes, I come here to practice. He'd practice half an hour. He would shoot for a half an hour. He goes, but every day I have a range set up in my backyard and I would shoot one arrow. And I'm like, why? He goes, because it's muscle memory, and it's the same thing with the tee. I believe the importance of the tee is the muscle memory. And you start with the tee, and then you can get into the cage, and then you can start hitting, you start seeing it, and you're getting that muscle memory. It's an easy forget the value of that tee to get these kids honed into hitting. They expect to go in there and they take 5 or 6 pitches, they hit a couple shots, and then they go back in the dugout and it's over and done with. Sometimes we do them with just justice by not hitting off that tee.
Yeah, and now with kids, I mean, every kid has an iPhone, and like set it up on a tripod or something somewhere and just record your swing while you're hitting off a tee. And
Back in the day, you had a bat bag. Ooh, we would be
right,
fancy. I remember my dad one day, he splurged and bought me a batting glove. And when I say a batting glove, that means one, guys. One. You had a choice. You can get a left or you can get a right.
look good, play good.
Yeah, you look good, play good. Exactly. I had wristbands. I was the wristband man. That was another one. So yeah, that's interesting. All right. So we have the curveball question for you.
Okay.
Okay. You're in a ballpark, any ballpark you want to be in. Hamburgers, hot dogs, what do you eat? What
You're
do
at
you
a
like?
ballpark, you got to have a hot dog.
Gotta have it's almost un-American, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you get on it?
I'm pretty plain when it comes to that. I'll do ketchup, mustard, some relish. I've got pretty bad heartburn, so like any jalapenos or anything, that's off the table. But
No, no good, no good.
yeah. What about yourself?
Me, my favorite type of food is free. So it's the same thing as my same drink. That's
Yeah.
free. Free. I like
Yes.
free drink. Me personally, every game I have to have a hot dog. I
Mhm.
have to have a hot dog. I'll take a pretzel on top of it if I'm a little bit hungry, but I have to have a hot dog. All right. So I mean, anything else you want to add on?
Velo 10, get you 10% off
Okay.
for that.
All right. So here you got it there first, guys. Velo 10, get you some 10% off. But it would have to be at the Velo website. I'm not Amazon or
Yes.
anything.
Yeah, that
Okay.
wouldn't be on Amazon. That'd just
Okay.
be
So that would be at the VeloTee.com. Correct?
VeloTee.com.
Okay. So you put VeloT 10. That'll get you 10% off. All right. Well, thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. I'm sure everybody appreciates it. And
Absolutely.
yeah, thank you for being on. I wish you luck. If you need
Thank you.
anything, you can always reach out to me.
Likewise. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate the time and love the background.
Oh yeah, that's a oldie and a goodie. What do we say here on Who's on First? Keep swinging. Use the T. All right. Thanks, guys.